All right, so we're back with a deck. Oh, look at this. We're here at Gen Con. Does it say Gen Con? Yes, it does over there. And my man here got top 16 with what?
Raditz, man.
Yeah, what the hell? Introduce yourself, where you're from, and we'll go through the deck.
Yeah, so my real name is Chris, but I actually go by Tommy. Some people might actually know me on Untap as Tommy Guns.
Oh my God, that's
That's
you.
me, yeah. So, yeah, a lot of trash talking, if you will.
Jesus.
But it's all in good fun. My background has actually come from fighting games. So
Oh, okay.
that's where that background comes from. But
Sure.
it's all good and fun, right? So, but anyways, I played Raditz. So, and this is the new leader, of course, the rebooted one. So he has two effects, right? So when he swings, he warps a card. So again, that's good because it gets around the board, right?
Yeah.
And then the activate main is very similar to like Surge Cell. So when I start out the game, I want to have as many like apes or Ribrians and draw apes in my hand so that I can search different cards and put them in my drop. And it's kind of like I'm plussing in a way, I guess you could say. And then the awaken condition is 4 or less, or when you have unison of 3 or so it costs a 3. So similar to I guess Soul Striker before I got it righted, right? So then when you awaken, you untap 1, draw 1, and then on the awaken side, it's pretty broken. Whenever you swing and they have 4 more non-black cards in their warp, he gains crit. And then another effect, you can put 4 non-black cards at the bottom of their deck to get triple attack. So, but the crit and the warp is once per turn, so it's not like you can swing 3 times and get crit 3 times and warp, 3 cards.
Right.
That'd be too strong for sure.
Yeah.
But we can jump right into the deck. So, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I guess my deck building, I've self-brewed. I like to run a lot of 4-ofs and actually got that from Rohit. So he goes to our locals in Dallas. So just try to make it as consistent as possible, right? So, I kind of go through, the extra cards. So we got 4 Cells Kamehameha. So this card is just, I think it's snapped against like red or just any deck. You can just rip out their win condition, right?
Yeah.
So for example, I played against the baby, and he had kind of a big board, and he was about to play 17. I ripped it out of his hand, and that's what won me the game. I feel like 1 energy to turn the tide. It gives you a lot of tempo.
Yeah.
You have to run 4 of for sure, and stay at high life. Because in my opinion, with this deck, you want to stay as high life as possible, so that it's harder to kill you, and you can grind with some of the blue and yellow decks. And then I guess the Secret Rare. So this is it's pretty cheap. Not a lot of people play it. The only reason we play it is because it has Raditz in the name. So you can actually search it off a leader effect.
Right.
So it's pretty much like your 5th super combo. It's a 0 plus 10k. And then when you play it, if they don't rest, it's 4 or 5 things they have to discard to, and it's dual attack blocker.
Right.
And then Dormant, honestly, it sounds crazy, but maybe you dormant like once per game, just because their hand is so low, so they can't do a lot of pressure. So as long as you control the board, it's not really needed. So you might be able to cut this down to 2, honestly.
Right.
But it comes in clutch sometimes. I think this was the MVP of the tournament for sure.
Yeah, that shit was annoying.
Yeah,
we played against each other. I forgot to mention.
Yeah, so like, a lot of people, I just thought to myself, I was like, man, I always have a small hand, but these are free 10Ks in Raditz.
Right.
So like, if they swing early with crit, you don't like crit, you just combo this out and you're out of the, swing. And then when you're going for a game with Frieza, that's the win condition, you can just, go to really high combo power, even though you don't have a lot of cards, right?
Yeah.
Other MVP in the deck for sure. This isn't my tech. I actually saw some guy on Untap playing this card, and I was like, I've always liked this leader. It was actually the first leader I played when I started playing Dragon Ball. So I was like, man, he killing with this card. I was like, I need to run it. So it's just a triple striker and dual attack. So like, you pretty much just get their hand down, get them down to 3, play this, and then kill them basically. And then Frieza counterplay again. I wanted to get, this is a 50 card list, just wanted to cut some things down, and you don't have your unison until turn 3, and there's only like maybe 1 or 2 times in the game that you're going to play this, so I just, threw it in there, and I didn't play it too much. It doesn't hit too much stuff in the meta right now, but it's just nice to have to kind of feel a little bit safer, right? This is a tech card that I kind of put in here. A lot of people, when I charge this or put in the drop, they would ask what it does.
Yeah.
So what it is just a 2-drop negate. It has serve it. And then when you play it, you get to look at the top 7 cards for unison. So for example, if you don't open up your unison, you don't draw, so it's kind of hard to find it. You negate with 2 for this, and then you can find Nappa, Frieza, and aside another unison as well. And then the 4th homicidal clones. Again, this is just how you survive. You tap out a lot of your plays, and it just free negate, stops 2 attacks. It's broken, so you got to run 4 of. Nappa, this card is super underrated for sure. It's hard to kill to 20k, and it makes them warp a card to feed another card in the deck, which we'll get to. But I really like this card. When I have it in opening hand, this is what you keep for sure, I think. 1-drop, this card it's funny too, 'cause a lot of people read it. I think it came from like the Magnificent collection a long time ago.
Or something?
Dude, I think the most I ever drew at this was like 7 cards.
That's
so
ridiculous.
What this does is, you pay for 1 every 2 cards that they have in their warp that aren't black, you draw 1. So your hand is very tiny, but once you get to like turn 4 or 5, you play one of these. Make sure you don't want to play into a floodgate because that hurt, or like a counterplay. But you play this and you can draw 7, 6 cards, and it's really nice for sure. Overarm for choice, again, this is just kind of tech to feed more of this card. So you'll have 6 in your drop from like using homicidal clones or clone negate or this. So you play this and it kind of plays around Deborah too. That was the thing I was thinking about, like how do I play around Deborah? And this card's it's a 30k too, so sometimes you can just end the game with this. Forward Brienne's pretty standard. Again, Surge Cell vibes, right? So you want to open up with these cards, and then you search your other Raditz pieces, and that's how you get in their drop. So it's kind of your plussing in a sense, recycling rather. So if I have any of these, I kind of just keep them in my hand for sure. Draw Monkey, I mean, again, self-explanatory. Your hand gets low, you draw 2. So, and then Vegeta, this card's it's pretty good too. It's kind of a +2 for 1 once you get to 4. So you pay 1, usually do this on turn 1. Turn 1 plays either this or Cells Kamehameha. You play this for 1, discard a card, and then it's it's a 10k, and then regular super combo. When you combo and you're at 4 or less, you draw a card. And then this is again similar to Draw Monkey. Turn 1, if you don't have, I think ideal to again play is Cells Kamehameha just to rip some random card. If you don't have that as the next best play, just put it in drop and draw a card for sure.
Gotcha.
So, but yeah, it's pretty standard. I mean, you're kind of just focusing on leader, and then once you get them down to like 4 or 5 life and then no cards in hand, you just play Frieza and end the game from there.
Right.
We can get into sideboard for sure. So,
yeah, this was best of 1 pre-side, 7 rounds, right?
So I think let's get to the MVP part. This card destroys yellow Trunks. So this card right here, I only ran 1 of, but if I were to play again, probably 2 or 3, honestly. You always get to turn 5 late because it's a hand destruction deck, right?
Yeah.
So you're gonna go long. So when you play this card, it just kills the board in their unison, and then they discard 2 cards. Then when it's in, when they put in the drop, it comes back, so it's very hard for them to kill. So like, they kind of have to swing, final flash it, combo over it to get over it, but it just makes it annoying for them. It kills your unison too, but usually when I play this, it destroys my unison, and then I'll just play another one, and that's kind of how I stabilize.
Yeah.
And then it gives you a lot of tempo for sure. This card too for Trunks. So we have 3 of the 3-drop unison. Again, it's for your awakening condition. Sometimes I set out these Nappas. Again, this is just for Trunks where you can kill their barrier blocker. And then you can just, once you clear the board, most likely you can just rip a card out of your hand randomly. It's kind of play around Deborah. Yeah. This is, again, to play around Deborah, and then, again, Trunks as well, and then just some random rogue matchups. So, like, again, you just put BMS, and before you rip their hand, don't let them Deborah, don't let them Gohan, and just, they have to warp too, so it's like, they can't really do it, honestly.
Yeah.
So, and then, for you, I didn't play any U7, which is kind of surprising, but I guess I kind of got lucky. I played 3 Kakunsas. Again, so the way that I think against U7, they actually don't draw a lot of cards, so you can get their hand down to 0. Usually the way that they're going to beat you is they'll pick up a card from their drop. Usually it's going to be the 8-drop Goku. So then I play this, kill the Goku, and then, then I proceed to go and crit them down. Right. Topo Negate, I didn't actually set this in at all. Again, it's just like a last-minute ad. I thought I was like, if I play against black decks because your leader doesn't do good against black, it's just something to kind of keep you alive, but again, you could probably cut this. It was okay. And then the 3 Kotsekais, again, this is just to kind of play around Deborah. Like, there's some decks that that they probably don't have nothing better to side, so they're just side Deborah. So then you can just, again, you open up with this, search for Raditz, put in your drop. Before you rip their hand, you just, put that in there.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, that's the deck in a nutshell. I think this is kind of, shout outs to Eddie St. Clair too. I'm always on his chat, and he was talking about that Raditz was a sleeper, and I agreed with him for sure. It's really good against yellow and blue, and that's what's really popular in this meta.
Yep.
Again, you can compete against red too. Just you have to win the dice roll for sure. But yeah, I think it's a strong pick, and I'm sure if this did top more, and people will start siding Deborah more. Yeah. But I got Deborah maybe like 3 or 4 times in the tournament, but you can play through it. You just got to play a little bit smart, right?
Sure.
But yeah, I mean that's it in the nutshell.
Awesome. Do you remember your matchups, by the way?
Yeah.
Outside of me, don't talk to me.
So, round 1, I played against Soul Striker, the new leader. Yeah. I mean it's kind of free, honestly. I mean they can't awaken, so he monkeyed me 4 times, but I was still able to rip his hand down. Yeah. So again, I just was at high life, swung with leader, crit him down, played this, and kind of ended the game with that. I believe we played round 2, right?
Yes. No, round 3. I
played round 2. Oh, I played a Unison Coup. It was actually Joe Lama. So I played him round 2. And
John Lama.
Yeah, so they don't like hand destruction. All their hands pretty tiny, so they can't really do anything. And then the way I kind of ended the game again, I decided this, I think, destroys Unison Coup too. Yeah. Where like he played the 3-drop Gohan to keep drawing a card, but then the turn he played this, clears the whole board, discard 2 cards, and then they can't really get rid of this. So it kind of wins the game. Yeah. Round 3 we played. I think, like again, I got lucky. You didn't draw the cell, I don't think, on curve. Yeah. And then that's what's hard sometimes. Like I have to have homicidal clones against Gamma to just survive, right? So
yeah,
like again,
you definitely have them. I
Yeah.
mean, we were talking about it where I was like, I shouldn't have played it early unison.
yeah,
you know?
exactly. And that's what like usually in the Gamma matchup they play their unison. It's actually a -1 because it doesn't draw them any cards, and it's actually good because when I swing with leader, they're not taking a life because they're going up to 20.
Exactly.
Yeah, so like that's why I don't think it's a favorable matchup. You have to play it kind of smart.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Round 4. Did I play Jordan Mark? I think I played Jordan and Marco round 4. So again,
he was playing Trunks Cheetah, right?
yeah. So he was playing Trunks Jita. Again, he wasn't citing any Gohans or Deborah. So
Yeah.
you just use leader. Again, I used this card to kind of KO the field, and then again just played another one of these and got him down to 3 and boom, hit him with the Frieza, and it just that was it. What was the next round?
Was it red, blue, yellow? No black, obviously.
What did
Right?
I lost to Hatch. That was the very last round.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And then the round before that was I lost. It was actually Danny Wynn with Woma.
Oh,
Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I remember.
I think like he played he's a really strong player. I have a lot of respect for him. I think what I did wrong was I ripped his hand down, and then I got him to 4 life, and then he awakened, and then he started drawing 2 cards a turn each turn.
Yeah.
And then he used the unison to draw another one because he had Boo unison,
Uh-huh.
and then he draws a secret and kills me. I was tapped out, and I was like, man, I couldn't do anything.
what can you
This
do?
wasn't meant for me to win.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, I played Hatch, lost to that. The Hatch was funny. He wasn't citing Dwarves. I asked him. I got his hand down low. What happened was he played I call him the vampire, the 8-drop Gogeta. And so like green has a hard time kind of removing it if it's in rest mode because it can be KO'd. So like it was in active mode. I swung with leader, he blocked, and then I paid 4 to kill it.
Yeah.
But the thing about that Gogeta is you can be KO'd by skills.
Yep.
So then I kind of just lost the game because
Yeah.
like I could never remove it, and he was swinging, and I don't have a big hand, so every turn he was swinging just warped 2 cards.
That's rough.
And I think and then I played Mike too, blue baby Mike.
Well, that's a rough one.
Yeah,
for him.
that's what I saw. Was like, my thought was like, if I play against SS4, Blue Baby, Yellow Trunks, I have a favorable matchup in my opinion.
Yeah.
So
That's just what it is.
exactly. You just rip your
Yeah.
hand apart, and it is that's the match where I used cells to rip out his 17.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much game.
What can you do?
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, I
Damn.
mean that's the deck in a nutshell. I think it's just kind of a rogue deck.
Yeah.
And like I said, just put the reps in, and I think it's it can compete against some of the meta decks for sure.
For
Just
sure.
don't play against red.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
I mean,
just dodge it,
You
just
sometimes
dodge
was
it.
the boogeyman, right? But whatever. I got lucky. I didn't play any U7. So
Yeah.
I'm fortunate for sure. So.
Well, that's good.
Cool.
You do great. You beat my ass. And then shoutouts. Any shoutouts?
Yeah, shoutouts to the first shout out. I guess again I have the Epic Mat. This is actually where we have our locals here in Dallas.
Oh.
So yeah, that's where a lot of the stronger players in Dallas. That's where I learned how to play pretty much.
Uh-huh.
So shoutouts to all them. Shoutouts to my team, City Boys. So
Okay.
let's see. Rohit kind of in there. He's kind of so-so, I guess you could say. Shoutouts to Rohit. He's actually the one that taught me how to play the game. So
Oh, nice.
When I haven't been playing too long, but he kind of showed me the ropes on that.
Right.
And then just shout out to Texas for sure. Like I said, I hope we have more events in Texas and people know that Texas is a strong region for sure.
Oh yeah, there's so many people in Texas. It's
Exactly.
Texas, Florida, and some California also.
Yeah, for sure. But again,
Yeah.
Gen Con was awesome. It was ran very smoothly. I thought
Yeah.
it was going to take a lot longer what it did, but
No,
they were
we're-
fast with the rounds.
Dude,
Even
they
the app,
finished.
shout out to the app. People were talking crap about the app, but I mean, it was working for me.
Yeah,
I was
it was
able to
alright.
record- Yeah, it was
It was
decent.
alright.
I'll give more credit than they deserve.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm kidding. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. So again, if you have any questions, put it in the comments and I'll read them for sure.
For sure, for sure. Like, dislike, all that other jazz. I'm sure he'll answer it.
There we go.
And we're out.